Hey again. Welcome back to Bobb-z Callahan's Word of Advice. And for this Word of Advice video, I want to talk to all of you guys out there who are writers. And particularly, if any of you writers are going through writer's block, whenever you feel like you just don't know what to write about, or maybe you feel like your inspiration is dried up and you just got no idea what to do about it. I know I've been there before, and plenty of people have been there before, and while I may not offer all the advice or all the same advice as other people when it comes to talking about advice on writer's block, I just want to pass on some tips to any of you writers, so hopefully you may be able to regenerate some inspiration in your lives, and you may think about trying to deal with writer's block in a new way. One of the things which I would recommend if you are going through writer's block is to just look around everywhere you are, whether you are in your room, or maybe if you're in a gym, or maybe if you are in a theater or school or in a park. Wherever you are, look around in your surroundings and just look at what's there, and just try to think about some of the simple things, like, oh, maybe if you're in a park, look at the trees, or maybe look at how fresh or old the parking lot is, look at a car that might be around, look at maybe a lake if there's a lake in the park. Look at some of the simple things which we look at every day and think to yourself, could I write something about that? Even if it's just a few lines. Look at something around you and try to think to yourself, what could I write about that? Wherever we are, there are plenty of things around us which we either have written about or have not written about, and I believe if we just look around and try to focus on every little thing, then we may find something which intrigues us and sparks our interest, and that could be a source of inspiration for writing something new. Also, when it comes to writer's block, another tip I would recommend to anybody, this is something I do. What I would recommend is just writing what I call a stupid poem. And by a stupid poem, I mean try to write down some lines which may not make much sense at all. And even if what you write may not make much sense at all, you still may write one line in this stupid poem which could really spark an idea. You know, don't worry about if your stupid poem makes absolutely no sense at all. When you put random words together and random lines together, you could come up with an idea which could spark a really smart idea, and then you could write something which does make sense, and you could look at it and think, this is a really good piece of work. Lastly, if there's anything I would want to say about writer's block, it's just that, well, writing tends to hide sometimes, as a former teacher of mine once said. You know, we could be looking all around us at different objects in life, kind of as I said on the first tip, looking at our surroundings, and we may not think about writing about something so simple that we see all the time. But I would just say, you know, don't let anything hide from you when it comes to what you're looking for and what you want to write about. Try to focus on everything, and try to let nothing hide from you. And I believe if you just try to open up your mind and let nothing hide from you, then you are bound to find something which intrigues you enough, and you might end up writing about it. I know writer's block is not the easiest thing to overcome, and for some people it may take longer to get out of that rut of not being able to write something good or write anything at all. but I believe if we look at our surroundings and maybe write a stupid poem, and if we just try to remember that we should not let writing hide, then we could find a really smart idea which could regenerate our inspiration in writing, and it could lead to plenty of great pieces of writing after that. And in the end, don't give up if you are a writer. I know it may be hard sometimes when you're dealing with writer's block, but just never give up, because I'm sure that at some point you will be able to find a good idea which will inspire you, and once you do, you'll feel so happy that you found that idea, and you can continue writing more and more and more after that. So with that, this is really all I wanted to talk about in this word of advice video. I certainly hope what I've had to talk about in this video will come in handy, and that any of you writers with writer's block will overcome that struggle. We'll come back for another word of advice video.